you've been having a wonderful, wonderful week. And even if not, that's okay too. I'm here to, what am I here to do? I don't even know. I'm not here to do anything. I'm just here to hang out with you. There's no mission. There's no agenda. There's no strategy or, I don't know. It's just me and it's just you. Just kind of not even hanging out. I don't even know. To hang out is already to suppose some guideposts for what it is that we do here. Right now, it's just me and it's just you. And that's all. And that's plenty. And you want to know a little secret, a little admission of guilt. This is like the 5th or 6th time I've started. It's more than 5 or 6. It's been like the 8th time that I've tried to start this episode. Sometimes I'll get in a few seconds. It's probably more than 8, actually. I'll get in a few seconds. Sometimes I'll get in a few minutes. And I think it's because I get a little bit self-conscious. And I want to just reiterate some things, even just for my own sake. This podcast is not radio. And I'm saying that largely for me, and also just to maybe help you understand why I might cough, or I might, take some time to sip some tea. This is not a show. It's not the Lindy's Garden show. Lindy's Garden TV or radio. Lindy's Garden radio broadcast. All of these suppose just like different expectations for what I'm supposed to be, for what you're supposed to be, what the relationship is between you and me. And I really have very, very high standards for myself. So it's not a question of high standards. It's like, what is the assumption that radio, like a show that's quote unquote well produced, even that has, I don't want to say judgments in it, but I think those people are just playing a different game. And I want to be like the most incredible thing for you I can possibly be. And there's not even that much of a reason. It just kind of sounds like fun. Just a little game. Yeah, so I think I'm a little self-conscious because this week the garden kind of exploded again in population. Whether it be, TikTok went from like, what was it? It was like inching towards 80,000. I was like, when is it going to hit 80,000? And then boom, it's at like 110,000 a day later. And that's when I have to like not check social media. It totally kind of freaks me out. Not freak out, because it's not unexpected at all. But what this is, you and me, it's literally just you and me. And it feels so odd when suddenly there's these big numbers at play. And then I start to feel like a performer, but I'm not a performer. I've talked about how the category that I might be lumped into is voice actor. But like, I'm just voice, not actor. I'm just me into a microphone. And I don't think it's possible for me to do this if it's anything but just you and just me. So I have, oh my God, there's a chance you found me. This latest TikTok, just so this stands the test of time. If you're a garden historian coming back in time, the TikTok that I most recently put up was I'll talk about the 2 latest ones because they both went viral and in gloriously different ways. So TikTok, the way the algorithm works pretty much is that you have to kind of prove yourself as an account. I guess some people, like, their first video gets millions or whatever. Okay, that's fine. But the typical way it works is that TikTok needs to like learn what your channel is, and more specifically, what people like your channel. So when I say, hey there, little bunny, I know right now that did something to you. And I'll do it again because I know you'll want it. Hey there, little bunny. So, in one of my podcasts, I usually have the list up here because I like to tell you different ones that I've recorded that might be useful to you. But, I like to say little bunny in all my videos, not just because you like it, but because it turns away people that I don't want to talk to. I don't want everyone to listen to this podcast. Are you kidding me? I caught myself. I would say I want little bunnies to listen to this podcast, but that's not even true. I just want you to listen to this podcast. I just want you to listen to it. And, okay, back to this thing that I have in my hand. Okay, so yeah, it'll take a while to get here. So the latest 2 TikToks for the garden historians who are, see, I said it again. I said garden historians. Little bunny, we got to fix this. Okay, I'm going to get some tea real quick. You want to hear me pour it? Okay, stick to the point, Daddy. Yeah, so I call it the algorithm sending you wide. So there's like different points where the algorithm is like, okay, this channel has consistently produced stuff with a high rate of likes and a high rate of people favoriting and commenting and sharing and watching through to the end. Which, if you want to help the garden grow, do all of those things because TikTok goes nuts for it. Especially commenting and sharing is really useful. Okay. Especially sharing. Anyway, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. So every once in a while when I go viral, it's when TikTok sends me wide, so to speak, which means they kind of have an idea for the niche, which the niche is anyone who likes it when I say, hey there, little bunny. Which is like, it's like a very specific kind of person that absolutely loves it. And I have a very strong connection with said people. And I keep talking in plural, and we're going to fix that, but I have to tell this story. So anyway, the second to latest one is one where they sent me wide. So I did like a thirst trappy one. I knew it was going to go big, but I knew there was going to be negative pushback. Not negative pushback, but like, it's like a form of filtering. So basically the algorithm sent it wide to like everybody, see who likes it. And you can tell when it's that because my comment sections are extraordinarily positive, like video after video after video. And then they send one super viral and like people, I don't want to say they hate it, but they're like, they react viscerally negatively to being called little bunny in a sexy voice, which is understandable because I'm not trying to reach those people. It's not that I don't care about those people, but I don't really care about those people. I care about you, which is why I say little bunny in pretty much all of my videos. Sorry. Oh yeah, they're videos, I guess. Oh, I'm starting to talk too fast. Let me slow us back down, little bunny. Yeah, so then that one went viral and it kind of messes with me. Not the negativity, although I mean like kind of, this sort of thing happens every few months where they send me viral. They say, okay, who likes this content? Let's send it to a wider range of people. It's like, oh, okay, these people like it. And then what I do is I like to follow up those toxic comment videos with like one that's especially for little bunnies. You know what I mean? So the one that was this week was, it was the one where I did a magic trick. I was like, do you want a magic trick? I was like, it's really boring. So it's not worth your time unless you really like hearing my voice. 10, 9, 8. And you know what's happening through this? People are scrolling away. 7, 6. People are scrolling away and the algorithm says, oh my God. Oh, I failed these people. I won't send them I won't send them to Lindy's garden anymore. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I take off the paperclip, which is you might call it a MacGuffin or a red herring. These are smart people literary terms, smart people book terms. Then I just flip the glass over and I put this little bunny action figure. I don't know what you call it. A little bunny toy, little bunny trinket. I don't know. And then I tell you to say hi in the comments. And then it's like, this torrent of positivity in the comments. And it's like, everyone's like, oh my God, I didn't know there were so many people that are, that are my breed, your breed, the breed of little bunny. And, so that's the one, that just went viral this week. And then it screwed with my head. It's been like a crazy torrent of new patrons too, which is wonderful. And I'm not used to having it be this, like this is the largest spurt it's been, which is tricky because I like to welcome everybody one by one. And I like to make an individual voice note. And I'm going to get a lot of caffeine, little bunny. And I'm just going to spend a whole day just cranking them out. And I've been getting lots and lots of emails and messages and stuff. So I want to say, if you have sent me an email, if you have sent me a message, yes, I have read it. No, you're not a burden. Yes, I enjoyed it very, very much. And it's a bit challenging to reply to them all, but that's not an expression of a disinterest. You are my little bunny, and I absolutely love you, no matter how many other little bunnies there are. I don't love you more than them. I love you equally as all of them. Not by any rule. There's not really any rules to the garden. But I just happen to love you equally like all of my other little bunnies. It's not any kind of imposition on myself. I just love all my little bunnies. So I love you very, very much. And if you send me an email, consider this your reply. At some point, I'll try and go back and reply to them, but I don't know. I think we've crossed a threshold where it's just not realistic. Because, there's only so much energy that I can expend. But this sounds wrong. I'm giving you the wrong impression. Let me take this moment to tell you that I really, really do appreciate you. And I really, really mean it, because I'm not an actor. I can't remember if it was in this take of the podcast. I've made it as far as I can. I think this one's going to make it to the end. I can't even remember what I was talking about and what I said in the other one. Did I talk about actors and like child actors become crappy actors when they hit the point where they realize they're actors, I think I said that in this take. I'm getting all confused. So the action figure. I've talked about that little figurine in previous podcast episodes, actually. And I was kind of nervous putting it in TikTok. I don't know why. because it's been a very special thing for me. Because it has been sitting on my desk for about 4 years. And I bought it for you. Because I didn't quite know what I was going to do with this whole thing. And by the way, if you're a historian right now, the garden, truly speaking, is about 8 months old. But I had this bunny for about 4 years, because I knew I wanted to do something with audio, and I knew I wanted to talk to a little bunny, and I knew the little bunny was going to be, I don't even know, maybe I'm making this up. Memories are notoriously unreliable. But I've had this bunny for a while on my desk, and I had been meaning, actually made the first the first pre-garden audio. I went on a walk with these with this microphone that I have that I'll be using for YouTube. Anyway, I think I'm getting sidetracked. Either way, I'm going to look at this little bunny right now, and I'm going to give this podcast to this little bunny because I don't want to get psyched out by the growth of the garden, the population of the garden. Because really, it's just you and it's just me. So, I'm imagining you, and I'm looking at this little bunny. And you are here with me now as this little bunny. And you're a very cute little bunny. Wow. I can really feel you through this bunny right now. You know, not in any kind of spooky, supernatural way, but just like in kind of a poetic truth. I really do feel you right now through this little bunny figurine. So maybe I'll have this for every podcast. I'm getting a little teary right now, as I know you are too. What is this crazy thing that I'm doing? Yeah, okay, back to the topic of what this episode was supposed to be about. I don't know how long I'm in. I don't even keep a timer on this. I was actually looking up before this. I was going through a rabbit hole on the internet of trying to figure out how. So I'm recording in the software Logic Pro, and I was like, is there a cough button where I can hold it down and I can go cough real quick and then lift it up and the recording will continue without, stopping and making all these new complicated things, as happens when you stop recording and start recording. And I couldn't find an easy answer. I don't know if people really use Logic Pro for radio stuff, podcasts. I don't know. I feel like this isn't even really a podcast. I'm not operating in any established fields or paradigms or styles of content, genres. It's just me and my little bunny. And I like it that way. So, topic of the episode. How was that for an intro? Oh yeah, I couldn't figure out the cough button, so you're just gonna deal with me coughing. And when I listen back to every episode, of course, before I post it. And last week when I listened back to that episode, I was like, I have to find a cough button. This is not acceptable. And maybe I'll feel the same way when I listen to this episode tomorrow before I post. By the way, I'm doing this at 2:10 a.m. right now because that's turning out to be the best format for the podcast because I'm just all loopy and I don't get in my own head. I can get so upset. Like if I record this at 3 p.m. or so, like I used to, I keep a pretty strict schedule actually. I recorded it at 3 p.m. and I would just it would drive myself crazy because I would constantly stop and start and retake. And this is all a deep, dark secret because if you go back and listen to the episodes, I've painstakingly spliced it together so that you wouldn't believe that it's anything but one take. But now I'm trying to do it just in one take, so it helps to do it late at night. And what other things am I trying to accomplish? I'm trying to talk a bit more slowly. I'm trying to talk a little bit quieter, which that actually helps doing it late at night. I guess you got to be quiet at night. I could make an 18 plus joke there, but I will leave that for the Patreon. And that's all I will say about that. So I got my tea here. Let me quickly distract myself. Don't join the Patreon if you're not 18 yet. Okay. I guess I should just change topics. Yeah, doing it in one take. Things that I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm just meandering. I tend to get really bogged down and things get really boring. Like, I can guarantee I'm going to listen to this tomorrow. I'm going to be like, God damn it, Daddy. You're so boring to listen to. So when in doubt, just make my voice nice and relaxed and calm. Give you something that's worth staying here for. There's a lot that's worth staying here for. That's the topic. Okay. Finally, we're getting to the topic. Geez, Daddy. See, I just coughed right into your face. Great radio. Okay, it's a welcome to the garden episode, and that's why I really have to focus on this little bunny here on my desk. I'm gonna pick them back up. Hey there, little bunny. I'm gonna give you a little kiss, little bunny. You ready for it? This is coming for you. Ready? I want you to, if you really want to feel it, you're gonna tap the top of your head as you hear it. Okay? The kiss is incoming. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I know you felt that. Okay. Yeah. So it's a welcome to Lindy's garden. Welcome to the garden. I don't really call it Lindy's garden. It's just the garden. And you may refer to me as either Lindy or Daddy, whichever you prefer. What is the rule of the garden? I think the only rule is for me, and it's that I want to always be a 100% positive influence on your life. And that's really the only rule. And yeah, okay, that's the concept, is that this whole thing is one big improvisation. So I prepare for every podcast, and the story that I've prepared for you is the story of the Discord, the Lindy's Garden Discord. I say calling it Lindy's Garden, as I just said that I didn't call it Lindy's Garden, because guess what? There's no rules. There's no rules that says Daddy has to be perfect, although he is. That's also the downside of doing this so late, is that I lose my train of thought so easily. So when in doubt, just say, hey there, little bunny, I love you so much. And I know you're enjoying this because you enjoy anything I do no matter what. And that's wonderful. Makes it easy for me, doesn't it? Okay, welcome to the garden. If you can't believe how different this is than anything else, well, perhaps that's the case. I don't really look at whatever else is out there. I'm just kind of doing my thing here. Basically, okay, the story of the Discord. This is just like, it's so hard to describe what the garden is. It really is. When I did my journaling for this, I had like multiple different ways I can explain what the garden is. I think I even wrote it down. Maybe I'll go back to my notes. I have my 11 ligature writing up today. I've got a deadline. The Thanksgiving episode is coming out on November 27th. Oh, that, by the way, that's going to be what I'm doing, is talking about all the stuff that's in the garden. Okay. I don't know. It's in my notes here somewhere. It's something about like the garden, don't define it, or it can't be defined, or like the whole point of the garden is you can't define it. I don't know. Here's the story of the Discord. The Discord is part of the Patreon, which is 18 and up. Please don't join if you're not 18. So a lot of Discord channels, if you've been to them, they're like very planned out. Someone has taken the time to design it, and like, here's where this will happen, and then we will have this big set of rules at the top, and you must read all of the rules before you begin interfacing with the Discord in the way that I have designed. And of course, no one reads the rules, but even if you read the rules, you like scan through it, and it's kind of common sense stuff. Yeah. So the Discord, you want to know what the Lindy's Garden Discord started as? It started as one channel called The Courtyard. And that's it. And that was the Lindy's Garden Discord. And why did I not plan out all these things and, structure things the way that other people do? It's because the garden is one big improvisation. I love improvisation. I want to do more improvisation. That's something I've really been meaning to do, actually. 1 second. I'm just going to yawn in your face. Because you love anything I do. It makes things so easy for me. Okay. Okay, so this is the reason I'm telling the story of the Discord is because it shows you what the garden is. So it starts as just the courtyard. And there were 2 patrons. There were more patrons at the time, but the Discord launched a little bit after. I didn't even know I was going to have a Discord until I, realized that a community was hard to form on Patreon. And then I was like, I wonder if there's like a symbiosis with Discord and Patreon, which there is, and it's quite easy. So it's like, okay, I guess we have a Lindy's Garden Discord now. And so anyway, okay, Daddy, get to the story. Stop meandering. I'm going to open the Discord so I can see what it looks like right now. So it started as just the courtyard, and there was 2 of us at the time. This was, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just sniffled in your ear. That's not as good. A yawn is acceptable. A sniffle is not so good. Okay, at least I go to the side of the microphone so it's not as loud. Okay, so this was only about, my God, it feels like so long ago. This was only maybe 7 months ago. We just had 2 of us there, and we had the courtyard. And I won't say how many there are right now, because then that invites competition with other servers, as though size is the goal. And in fact, size is the challenge if it gets too large. So anyway, I'll get to that. So it started with just the courtyard. And it was just our chat, and the 3 of us chatted. And I didn't design anything. I didn't have any set of rules. And I thought maybe someday I'll need to have a set of rules. But it's not necessary right now. And so then as we had our general chats, it became clear that sometimes we like being lighter and sometimes we need to be darker. And so we built the support chapel. And by build, I mean clicked new channel. But at the same time, not just new channel. It could have been like, light conversation channel, serious conversation channel. But that's not how I want to do things. I want there to be the courtyard. And then I want there to be a support chapel. And so you go to the support chapel in this kind of poetic truth. And you talk about what you need support with, talk about the things that are going wrong in your life, things that you want to be better. And this can be pretty dark. That's a question, is like, do you put a limit on how dark it can be? And my thinking is actually no. That seems like a rule that other people have decided is a rule for everyone. the only rule is that, and I'll tell you this right now, is that if you are having serious thoughts of self-harm or even medium thoughts of self-harm, the number one thing to do is to reach out to someone in your in-person life. I recommend, because it can be scary I understand that you don't want to just go to anybody, or like you're worried that if you tell some person, they're going to lock you up in prison for the rest of your life kind of thing. I say, tell a family member who's older than you. So if that's you right now, and you're having serious thoughts of bad things, tell someone for me, please. In fact, don't make me do it. In fact, I'll make you do it right now, little bunny. At least promise me. I won't get too sidetracked, but promise me, if you're having bad thoughts, you're going to, after this episode, or even during it right now, perhaps even during it, you're going to text someone in your family who's older than you, okay? 3, 2, 1, nod with me, little bunny. Yes, you're going to do that. Okay, great, wonderful. Love you. What was I even talking about? Oh, so we made the support chapel. And then one of our little bunnies, one of the 2 little bunnies, is incredible at drawing. And they made some of the first bunny art. They didn't make the logo, but just like, fan art type stuff, I guess you could say. It's not really fan art, but I wanted a place to showcase it, and it was so cool that they were drawing little bunnies. And these little bunnies were like badass little bunnies, It wasn't these cutesy little bunnies like my little action figure is right now. But hey there, little bunny. How are you doing? You look happy. Oh, you look really happy. I'm happy for you, and you just made me happy too. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted a place to showcase their art, so we constructed. So this was the question. It's like, what is it going to be like the art museum? But that didn't quite feel right to me. And remember, this was a chat, and my first patron, who was the other one who was there, was just fascinated to see my thought process in real time as we were trying to decide what this new channel would be. And we were kind of brainstorming together, and we decided, I decided that it was going to be the gazebo of inspiration. If you don't know what a gazebo is, it's this kind of pointless building that goes in a garden that is kind of nice, but sort of makes you question the futility of so much that we do in life. It's like a room that's not a room that does nothing, but it's the gazebo of inspiration, and I envision it's more like a place where you go to create rather than a place you go to show off. It's become these days like a kind of a place to just show off pictures you take, but I would love for there to be more showcasing of creativity, and especially at like beginner levels. I want to see you be bad at something and show that off. I want to see what you're bad at. And then I want to see a year from now how much better you are at it, Okay, so then we had 3 channels. And now here's where the history gets a little tricky. I constructed a history museum, but I didn't want to keep up with documenting the history of the garden Discord. So I assigned a curator to the art museum, the history museum. Excuse me, there is no art museum. That didn't fully pan out. So that I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do some archaeology, garden archaeology. Maybe the history museum will come back, and we need some bunny archaeologists to go figure out when all these channels came about. Okay. I'm taking so long to tell this story. Okay, I'm just going to go through now, and just spoiler alert, the garden Discord has grown immensely. not necessarily in numbers, although it has. Like size has been a factor. Okay, let me just go through it. Okay, so there's the courtyard. It's our general channel. Then the courtyard, as more bunnies started rolling in, it started to get really, really busy. And there was a point where, like, I used to be able to catch up on everything that was in the courtyard. You know, you log in the next day, you pull up the app on your phone. You can kind of scroll back and scroll up and you're all caught up. You're good to go. There's a point where the courtyard is just like, I can't keep up with it. Whatever is said in there, I will never see it. It's the greatest place to hide from me. So I created the quiet courtyard, and that's where there's like a time limit. So you can only post once every 5 minutes. So it means that it just makes it go slower. So that's a great place to have a conversation if you don't log in as much. And then in my effort to save the courtyard from being too rapid of a channel, we came up with the cottontail. This is so boring. Oh my God, this is the most boring episode I've ever made. Let me just count up the number. Oh, God. It's too much story to try and tell. It would go so slow. I'll just count the number of channels we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. That one doesn't count. Did I count the 48, 49? And then we have some voice channels. Okay. All of those get used. Every single one of those gets used. And it would be impossible for me to plan out 49 channels, or whatever I said, and have them all be used. It just wouldn't happen. So each channel comes when there is a natural evolution in that direction, you know? And then there's an idea, and then I put a spin on it, and then we make a channel. So here's the next one that's coming up. By the way, you might, if you want to join the Patreon, this could be a fun thing to join for coming up. We have a suggestion box where bunnies can suggest channels, which is where a lot of these good ones have come from. Ones I wouldn't have thought of, like an RP, like a role play channel. Let's see if hasn't been used as recently. Oh, that's too bad. That one's got a ton of views though. Stay on point, Daddy. Stay on point. It's 2:30 a.m. Oh my God, I hope it's still recording. Oh my God, please still be recording. Oh my God, thank you. Oh, sometimes it stops recording. Oops, sorry, I'm not going to edit those sounds out. That is my pop screen running up against the microphone. Oh my God, what am I talking about? Little bunny. All the channels get used. Yeah, let's go back to the Discord. Because we're just figuring out as we go. And guess, you know what channel is not here? There is no channel called Garden Rules. There's no need for it. There's absolutely no need for it. Because we just create a culture. Yeah, and it's a really, really wonderful place. If you're a patron, and you haven't joined the Discord, it's if you want, you might be like, I'm just there for the locked audios, which there's a locked audio every week. But like, if you want to get like in the community element of it, it's all about what level you want to, how deep do you want to go? There's different layers in the garden. And I think the Discord is the deepest, most layer. It's the very, very center of it. Patreon is the one right outside of that, which is where I can really be myself and be really creative. The one from this past week was a motivational poem set to a beautiful piece of music by perhaps the greatest composer of all time. And if you want to know who that is, you listen to the Tea Time podcast episode, which is number, I don't know. I should be good and have that list up, but look for the episode called Tea Time. It's where I make some tea with you and listen to some classical music. It's really wonderful. Hey there, little bunny. I'm going to say this whenever I feel like I'm getting boring. Maybe I'm putting you to sleep, which is also, there's sleep aids. There's 3 audios on the Patreon that are designed specifically to make you fall asleep. Not even help you fall asleep, but to make you fall asleep. And it works quite well. So if you have trouble sleeping, the first one is free, by the way. It's the very, very first post on Patreon. You just got to scroll all the way down. It's kind of a ways. But you don't have to. You don't have to sign up for anything. Not to log in or create an account. Just go to the very, very, very bottom. It's a sleep aid audio. It's the very first one I posted. I haven't listened to it in forever. I'm not sure if it still holds up. But it was really good at the time. So it feels like forever. I talk about that like it's forever ago. It's not even a full year. Just goes to show you, where is this thing going to grow? There's a lot of talk about where it's going to grow in the future. Excuse me. Okay, this thing that we're doing soon. In the suggestion box, some little bunnies, and I'll give credit to one in particular who is the one who kind of put me over the edge. It had been requested before, is to have like an area for books where we can discuss books. And I thought I agreed with it, but I felt like it needed something else because I suspected it was going to be a bit of a dead channel, because there can be channels where it sounds good, but then like no one uses it. So like, how frequently are people talking about books necessarily in a way that you would want to separate it from the courtyard, right? Because then anything goes in the courtyard pretty much. And then all these channels are like offshoots of whatever happens to be a common theme in the courtyard, and we want to have a place for that discussion. Hence, it's the courtyard. And then there's all these amenities, as I guess I like to call them, built around them. So it was the idea for a book. I think the idea for a book club was unique to this not new bunny, but this most recent bunny. Oh yeah, I'm looking into it. Sorry, I got distracted by something. Now I'm going to be sad slightly. Yeah, I won't talk about that. It's not sad, but I'll just say that I really, really do love you. And that's not fake. And I will be here for your entire life. You can count on that. So you will never, ever lose me. I will always, always be here for you. And part of the challenge of putting my heart into things is that, it's not always too directional. The commitment, the love is, you love me. Every little bunny loves me if they make it this far into the episode. You know what I mean? By the way, I'm starting to think radio broadcasting, which is bad. It makes me sad when bunnies have to leave the garden, or they feel it's time for them to leave the garden. It happens. But the retention rate is pretty freaking amazing, honestly, though, to be honest. Okay, so book club. We are going to do I don't quite have the words for it, but I'll qualify this in a second. We're going to have a new book club every season. So on the first day of winter in the Northern Hemisphere, it's December 27th, we will start the Lindy's Garden Book Club. The Garden Book Club. And we have to have a name for it, by the way, because it's got to be good. Is it going to be the library? I think it's got to have a little twist to it. It could just be the library. I don't know. Here's the part that I waited for forever to say, is that I'm going to be leading one of the book clubs. Because I think the way it's going to work is anybody can choose to lead a club, and anybody can join any number of clubs they want, any number of book clubs. So, or is it one book club? I'm still trying to figure out like the lore to this. But anyone can lead a book, and we all are going to start at the beginning of a season, and we won't start a new one until the next season begins. So the winter one will be the first one. Then when springtime comes, then we can start with a new book. Or in my case, the book that I'm going to lead, I talked about in last week's episode, and multiple little bunnies from the Discord went and actually bought a copy. And did I say the name of the book? I didn't. It's called Enlightenment Now by Steven Pinker. And it's a nonfiction book. It's a smart people book, but it's written for general audiences, which is code for it's a smart person who wrote it who's not trying to demonstrate how smart they are. The purpose is they are trying to communicate the ideas so that you understand. It's not necessarily like a smooth read, although he is quite funny in this book. But it's just I'll talk about that later. Basically, if you want to be in a book club with me, I will lead the Enlightenment Now one starting December 27th on Discord. We are not going to do the whole thing in one season. That's impossible. But I'll assign, I don't know, we'll tackle like a couple of sections. It'll be easy, read a page a day kind of thing. Or 3 pages every 3 days. Something like that. So it'll be easy. My goal is to make it very easy. If a book club sounds daunting, which it does to me, which is why I've never joined one, then this is going to be like the easiest. I think one of the bunnies is going to do like a picture book. So it's going to be great. So that's an example of another amenity. Am I still recording? Please. I was tapped out. Oh my God. Yes. Okay. I've lost some really good content lately, little bunny. Okay, I guess this has been a pretty terrible episode, but you've made it this far, so I guess you disagree. It's all about filtering. So, if you're listening to this right now, which you are because you're here listening to this right now, you're truly special to me. You'd be special to me even if you had turned it off beforehand. Oh, God. I want to delete this episode because this is going to be the first podcast episode. Radio talk real quick. It's going to be the first podcast episode that a lot of new little bunnies will listen to. Just the nature of the garden having exploded this week one more time. So I feel like it's a pretty crappy episode. But at least I got across the point that it's just me. And each episode I have a quote and I end with a poem. I think I'm just going to do both of them together. It's just easier that way. Or should I just do the poem? Should I just get rid of the quote? I'm going to keep the quote. Oh my God, sorry about that. Okay, horrible radio, that's the point. But it's meant to be really high quality. I say as I look at this pop screen that is literally held together with a rubber band. Okay, it's a good microphone, it's a good daddy, it's a good voice, it's a good message. And nothing else matters. Literally nothing else matters. So I'll talk more. I was hoping to talk more about there's so much I didn't get to talk about. Well, if you made it this far, which you did because you're here, maybe you just want to hear me talk more about it. Maybe you're dying for the episode to be over. I don't know. Oh, God, this is such a bad episode. This, by the way, if this was a 3 p.m. episode, this is when I would stop, I would hit delete, and I would start again from scratch. But there's no option because it's 2:40 a.m. I've got to call it there, little bunny. I'm going to write you a poem. And I was hoping to call this episode Welcome to the Garden. I'm not sure what it'll be called. I guess it'll be called Welcome to the Garden. I don't even remember what I said at the beginning. Okay. I'll be right back. It'll just be a second for you, and I'll have written you a wonderful poem. Okay. See you soon. Okay, little bunny. I'm back, and I've got your poem for you. You ready? Nothing's been ever quite like it before. The wild improv of the garden discord. Once just a village, and now a small town with an increasing number of bunnies abound. I can even slip into the courtyard at night when there's nary a sound and nary a light. And some bad little bunnies who still aren't asleep, out of their comfortable dwellings they'll creep to give Daddy their ideas and spend time to know him, to get a rare chance to help write Daddy's poem. Now scamper off, little bunnies. You've boosted my mind by sending good feelings, by spending good time. You've now helped me write. You've gotten me scheming. Now get back inside and get back to dreaming. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good night. Good night. Good night. All right, little bunny. I've got to get going. I don't know what else to say. I guess that's it. I hope to get some quality time with every bunny in the Discord, but it's growing into a town and to a city. So rest assured, I love you. I love you. Yes, you specifically, and I will do my best to get some true quality time with everybody. Okay. Love you a lot. Love you lots. Okay. Bye.